I used to wake before the sun. Now I'm awake when it's already gone. My body's still here, but my mind is long since gone. Had plans, had friends, had some spare time. Now I live on charts and caffeine grime. They said get rest, but I just blinked and missed a week. While there's still some fight in my chest, a little blood in this worn out bed, I want the hours I lose to mean more than just a guess. Told my dad I'd call him back. That was 4 months and 2 fake rallies flat. Told my friends I'd change next week, but time moves weird when you don't sleep. I trade in silence, eat alone, forget my voice when I'm off the phone. And every wind feels smaller than the hole it's filling. While there's still some fire in my head, a little warmth in this cold ass bed, I want the life I burn to mean more than what I bled. While there's still some fire in my head, a little warmth in this cold ass bed, I want the life I burn to mean more than what I bled. Mom said, girl, just pick a lane, but every road I take loops back to pain. The news runs loops, the screens still glow. I keep chasing things I'll never hold. The truth is I'm not sure when I stopped living. But while there's still some pulse in my hand, some echo left in this half-formed plan, I want the risk I take to stand for something I understand. While there's still some fire in my head, a little warmth in this cold ass bed, I want the life I burn to mean more than what I bled. While there's still some fight in my chest, a little blood in this worn out bed, I want the hours I lose to mean more than just a guess.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning. Oh, no. I just spilled coffee on myself. I got a little bit too excited. Oh, it's everywhere. That's not the best way to start. Ew. Oh, that's not good, team. That's not good. That's not exactly what I wanted to see. But hey, sometimes you're not going to start all the shows the way you want. And I think, if anything, that's a good lesson for life. That's a good lesson for trading, what just happened to me. Sometimes you have this plan of, hey, I'm going to like rip the start of the show. It's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. And then before you know it, 2 seconds into the show straight, you just spill coffee all over your pants, all over. It's just, that's life, dude. You know? So, some mornings you're just going to spill coffee on yourselves, and you just have to accept that as an aspect of life. It's going to be what it's going to be. Yes, the mug is back, but I want to clarify it's still iced coffee. I just ran out of my clear glasses. They're in the dishwasher right now, so hey, it happens, folks. So yeah, it's a little weird. I'm putting iced coffee in a hot coffee cup. I already spilled it on myself. And it's a beautiful, Thursday, July the 10th, which is an exciting day because we might be hitting another new all-time high today. So yesterday, the NASDAQ, NDX, QQQ, NQ, new record high. S&P 500, SPY, SPX, ES, almost. Like, we're getting there. It has a little bit more distance to go, but looking really strong. Bitcoin, BTC, the currency of the interwebs, new all-time high. Nvidia, new all-time high. Microsoft, new all-time high. I actually don't know this one, but I think Avago also hit a new all-time high. So right now, we are seeing strength in the overall equities market. We're seeing strength in the overall crypto market, and we're also seeing specific strength in the crypto sector space. So I see some of you already in chat chit-chatting about like Soxel which is the leveraged, I guess, semiconductor play. And if that happens to be you, massive congrats, because it's looking pretty good this morning. We see NVIDIA actually in pre-market trading putting in a new high. If we were open up here, looking pretty good. Palantir, PLTR bouncing back. Folks, the bulls are on parade. I don't know what to tell you. That just the bulls are absolutely dominant, and I'm excited to see what today brings. Obviously, I'm well aware of the fact that yesterday I was also this excited and things were looking great for about the first half hour, and then yesterday ended up kind of being a nothing day. Yes, big institutions and whatnot ended up buying into the close yesterday, so obviously I'm a fan of that. But Monday and Tuesday were a complete bust. Nothing happened. Wednesday, I had that glimmer in the eye, that little like neon green flare. We didn't get the follow through. So maybe today is that day. So yes, are things looking strong? Awesome. If you're a swing trader, just grind it up. As a day trader, though, we are still kind of on our heels waiting for that big day of just taking off, ripping nonstop. Those days were really, they come rarely, statistically about 7% of the time, but man, oh man, when you can catch them, boy, oh boy, can you make quite a bit of a return. Maybe it's going to be today, maybe it's going to be tomorrow, but I'm excited to see what happens. What happened with PHH you tweeted about? Well, it was a scam. Literally what I exactly predicted would happen did happen. Hey, this is a Chinese pump and dump scam. It's going to fall. And days later, it got completely demolished. Like, I really don't understand how people continually fall for this type of stuff. I can understand if you're new to the market and you haven't seen it before. But what was the other one? BNMR or some shit like that. The one that Tom Lee just got involved with. All these things that skyrocket out of nowhere. What was the pharma one? PROK, P-R-O-K. I just give it time. Gonna go back. When you talk about these really low quality penny stocks, gravity wins out, folks. We're not talking about like high flying blue chip stocks with a strong business model that society like deems to have quite a bit of value, and even, I don't know, like NVIDIA, Palantir, all these, like they're core businesses that like the world's gonna use. When you talk about bullshit things, PHH, BMNR, PROK, that's like the recent one, they're all trash. And yet everyone still thinks that like the one they're looking at is somehow going to buck the trend. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're going to trade in that world, you can make a lot of money. But a lot of money made in that world trading is from shorting. People wait for these high flying stocks to get bought up by a pump and dump for retail to get excited. And then as soon as it tilts over, that's where the shrewd, smart penny stock traders come in and they just short it all the way back down because it's a nothing stock. It's a complete just bullshit scam. AMC is a great example. GNS is a great example. What was it? CEI is a great example. That was in like the oil, whatever industry. There's so many of these just dog shit penny stocks that all you have to do, it's easy. All you do is set up a scanner, wait for a massive expanse in price, a massive expanse in volume, and then be patient, wait. As soon as it starts to show weakness, generally volume exhaustion, also the first red day, and then you just attack it and you attack it hard and they just fall. Like time and time again. It is not that difficult to find these companies. And I know on the interweb, specifically Twitter/X, you're going to find a bunch of these companies where like, yo, I made all this money. But if you look at the accounts who are doing this continually in the world of penny stock trading they're doing it from shorting. They are doing it from, Mullen's a great example. Mullen's a horrible company. GNS, a horrible company. What's the MMAT that turned into MMTLP? Horrible company. Like, it's just time and time again, we find so many of these examples. And then people are still surprised when it happens to them, even though they've seen it 10, 20, 30, 50 times before. There's a lot of just shit companies in the market. I know a lot of the times on this show, we are talking about like core blue chip tech stocks. That's obviously a popular interest because not only can you actively trade them, they get a lot of movement and volatility, but they're also great long-term investments. So for audience members, there's interesting things to talk about on both sides. But in terms of like active trading of like those stocks, I'm telling folks, I've been through this for years. I've been that guy trying to pull it off and like long those stocks and chase it. Like, I'm not telling you this as like an admonishment. I'm telling you as a person who's lost money trying to play it one way. And then I realized when I played it the other way, as in just shorting these shitty stocks, that's where I made a lot of money. Like that's just where it is. Did I short it? No. So you have to be set up on a particular brokerage that has the ability to do what's referred to as hard to locate. Remember, there's only so many shares that can actually be shorted. Like, people have to be loaning their shares out to be able to do it. And you have to be set up on a particular brokerage that can do hard to locates. And then you're paying the borrow fee or the loan fee and all that good jazz. So there's other complications to it. Another common question is, well, why don't you just buy puts? A lot of these companies are so shitty that they don't even have an options market. The market makers, there's no interest in it or whatever. So there's literally no options. Like, there's not an I don't believe you could fact check me on this one. But there's not an option chain built out on PHH. There's not going to be an option chain built out on PROK. And if it is, it's going to be illiquid. It's only going to have the monthly expiration, like that type of stuff. So still, you're going to be running into liquidity issues. The way you might run into a liquidity issue trying to get the hard to borrow stock on these shitty penny stocks, you're going to run into liquidity issues on the options market. So it's possible. It's very, very possible. But you have to just be set up in like the right environment to do it. So retail traders can do it for sure. But you just have to be like set up in the right environment to do it. There are certain brokerages that are known to be better than others for locates, meant for penny stock shorting. So obviously give that a quick Google search if that's of interest to you. The guy that I know that pulls it off the best, his name is Steven Dux, D-U-X. Actually, this is a weird way to start the show, but might as well start it in a weird way. I've already spilled coffee on myself. So the guy I know that is the best in this world as a retail trader, his name is Steven Dux. Which one is he? There, as you can see, there's already a lot of scam accounts. No, that one does not seem to be him. Is this one him? No, that's a scam account. Man, this is frustrating. His name is Steven Dux. I don't know which one is the fake account and which one is the real account. And the fact that Twitter is putting Steven Dux, I don't even know which one would be the real one. It feels like a couple of these have 1994 in it. I was literally just reading. Is it? Nope. Looks like there's an extra I in it. So Steven, maybe we could just delete the final dash and maybe this is it. Nope, that account was suspended. Anyway, his name is Steven Dux. If you can find the real account, I think he just made $10 million yesterday in one day trading that high-flying BMNR one. Is that the one that you guys were all talking about? This one? Yeah, he made $10 million on this sell-off yesterday. $10 million. He had to pay $350,000 in borrow fees to be able to borrow all of those out. But if one of you guys can, and if you end up finding the right Twitter account, we could kind of go over it together. But he's a well-known high-flying retail trader, waits for these shitty pump and dumps to get done pumping, and then when it finally shows some weakness, that's when he gets in and basically just rides it all the way back down. And he made 10 mil in one day. I mean, a very, very impressive trader. But yeah, it's not hard. Like, unfortunately, in the world, actually, I was just going to say finding shitty penny stocks, workhorse, wait for it to show weakness. This is probably a phenomenal short all the way back down. Like, it really is. I mean, it's just another shit company. Look at it. Every single time it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps. Like, why would anyone in their right mind think that this particular pump is anything different? Looks like, oh, is this it? Steven, is this the right one? I appreciate you finding that. Is this the right one? Yes, this is it. And I'm even following it. I don't know. I couldn't find it. I don't know why their search algorithm wouldn't first show me the one that I follow. But anyway, I saw this yesterday. So BMNR, a lot of people asked me about it. You guys wanted to chase it. And guess where the real money is made? The real money is made shorting it. Officially crossed 8 figures in one day, roughly made $10 million on BMNR, the biggest trade in my career. And say my first trade was $20 9 years ago, paid $350,000 in borrowing. You're going to see he's on Dosh Trader, which I assume is probably, if he's on it, that must mean it's one of the better ones to do the hard to locate type of situation. Remember, just because you want to short something doesn't mean you can actually short it. You have to go locate the share. shares. And you could see it right here. This is the order screen of all of his locates. Located. Looks like he was doing locates of thousands of shares at one time, and then all of the, I guess, loan fees that he had to pay. But it looks like BMNR opened up early in the morning, right at 9:30. Looks like he went short. Then he shorted some more. He covered some into the first bounce around 10:15, and then covered some more into the remainder of the day. A $10 million trade, which is just actually fucking insane. Actually insane. I myself have never used Dosh Trader, but like I said, the fact that he uses it tells me that this must be a better one to be able to do some sort of locate on. That is crazy. 7 mil, 7.3 and 1.3. That's insane. It looks like he traded 120-ish thousand shares. Am I getting the right decimal right? Or no, over 1 million shares. Wow. I was off by that. That's insane. But yeah, time and time again, if you're going to notice a similarity in the world of these like high flying penny stock pump and dumps, the money is like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The money is made in playing against them because they're shit companies, and obviously you're going to end up having gravity win out. So this will actually be I bet if we come back to Workhorse in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, this thing is all the way back down there, which means you could probably make a nice profit of about 58%. I bet. I'm not going to play it. I'm not even set up to play it. But if I had to do this, the first thing I would do, there's two major things that I've learned from this particular world, is you look for volume exhaustion. You see how volume ripped up, and then even though we went higher, volume went lower. So lot less interest, and then all of a sudden you wait for that technical breakdown. You still respect your risk, and then from there. So this is the classic thing of the structure is higher highs, higher lows. You wait for that structure to break down. Appears to be breaking down early this morning. We're going to take out that low. That's your first fresh low, and it happens on volume exhaustion, and then you just destroy it from there. So BMNR right here. You had a little bit of volume exhaustion. I'm not really sure why he chose to do this on Wednesday versus Monday. I'm sure there's something fancy schmancy going on there. Maybe it's because it's not technically a fresh low. It was an inside day. And then here we opened up. But he did it right out of the gate. I'm not really sure what he was seeing that made him want to go right out of the gate. Obviously, he's the expert on that. I am not. But once again, see how it pumps. And even though you're starting to get that volume exhaustion, well, that even broke the low there. I don't know, maybe there could have been some interest. No, it technically didn't. So you never saw that fresh low. So the first time you saw a fresh low really was Wednesday the 9th, yesterday. None of these lows were a fresh low. So those are, I remember, the two telltale things you want to look for. The first red day, volume exhaustion, and by the fact that you have the first red day, also taking out a previous low. So if those three things are aligning, it's probably pretty solid. And honestly, this play, I wouldn't be surprised if it just keeps going down. A lot of these shitty plays, as soon as you find them, CIE. This was this the Zach Morris one? CEI maybe? Yeah. Crown Equities, real estate. No, I don't know. Anyway, PHH, could you have caught that one? Probably not, because it happened so quick. This was like more scammy than normal, but you could see volume exploded. People are just like running for the exit. So a little bit of a different style. But PROC, PROK, this is another one we can track. I'm telling you, okay, you're starting to see volume exhaustion right here, less volume, even though you made a fresh high. Wait for this to take out a previous low, and sure as fuck, I bet that's going to be a phenomenal short opportunity. Now, to be honest, am I going to take it? No, this isn't really necessarily my play. I would have to kind of knock the dust off some of my old journals and whatnot from back in my days of trading penny stocks. But this is what you're looking for. Volume exhaustion, first red day, take out the first real low, and then you just basically ride it back down into oblivion just because it's a shitty company. GNS, like all these examples, time and time again, like it's nonstop with it. It's pretty evident to like see some of these patterns. Low. So this would have been a first interesting one right here on July the 2nd, because you do have volume exhaustion. You took out the low. It didn't collapse the next day, but 2 days later, you could have ridden it from $1.32 to $1. Then support came in right at $1. Seems to be going again. If it does go again, you run it back. You wait for volume to ramp up. Then it gets crushed. first red day, first taking out of the previous low, and you get to ride it back down. But here, obviously, buyers came in exactly at $1, so I'm sure you could see that on the tape in real time. But yeah, like I said, we're already off the rails, but why not? At that point, I probably should return to the overall market because we do have some things we should probably get into. Obviously, today, very much in the cards to look for a new all-time high. 6,285 would be a new all-time high for the overall market. Yesterday, the NASDAQ did hit a new all-time high. Actually, let me set that up. But the Qs, NDX, NQ, all hitting a new all-time high. Stock futures are little change after the NASDAQ notches a new record. So the news of this morning relates once again to Trump and tariffs, but this time Brazil. Trump to impose 50% Brazil tariff citing Bolsonaro trial. Prospective levy is highest yet. President in flurry of letters to world leaders on trade. Brazil will respond to Trump's 50% tariff with reciprocity, says De Silva. So basically, we jacked it up on them, Trump not happy, and then they clapped back and said, no, you can't do that. So honestly, this week has been one of the most quiet weeks we've had in a while with respect to scheduled macroeconomic events. And then even with this, like some of the news relates to what's going on with Trump and trade, and that kind of started yesterday. But I think the market's kind of getting tired of the whole tariff news. It's moving the market less and less on a medium time frame. And really the hot news of the week was just the fact that Grok went like super racist there for a second. But obviously with individual equities, there's still some exciting news. How NVIDIA became the world's first $4 trillion company, chip maker, beating heart of the AI boom is embedded in gaming, data centers, and crypto mining. So when NVIDIA goes up, tech goes up, semiconductors go up, crypto goes up. It's all looking pretty good. Technically closed out the day at 3.97 trillion, but at one point in the trading session yesterday, NVIDIA, the world's most valuable company, was above 4 trillion, followed by Microsoft, followed by Apple. And as I alluded to, when it goes up, a lot of other risk on tech assets go up. Bitcoin rises to fresh record above 112,000, helped by NVIDIA-led tech rally. People are super stoked about it. Here's Bitcoin. We did slightly take out the all-time high, but we didn't get the follow through. I myself am swinging BITX call, so fingers crossed that this does just keep going. I honestly had these visions of grandeur that we'd wake up at 114, 15, 16,000, but nope, we kissed it for one quick second, and as of now, we're kind of just in that stall out period, but obviously the fun doesn't stop there. Meta's looking good. Really, Microsoft's looking good. AI, like this is the hot theme of the day. Meta poached Apple's paying with pay package over $200 million. I don't know if you guys have been seeing kind of the meme format, but the way obviously well-known, famous, rich athletes get traded and all that stuff, and they make a big hubbubaloo about it. They're kind of now doing that with these leading AI engineers because Meta, Zuckerberg, is throwing around serious money, and they are picking up a lot of the most popular people from, it doesn't matter if it's Apple, it doesn't matter if it's Microsoft, specifically OpenAI, like the whole slot of them. Meta is just throwing around endless amounts of money. $200 million pay package for one person. Like that's above literally 99% of professional athletes. That's crazy. OpenAI to release web browser and challenge to Google Chrome. This is why Google got hit yesterday. And I'm not saying I'm a fan of Sam Altman, but I am a fan of Google losing a bit of its power. Musk unveils Grok 4 AI chatbot after anti-Semitism controversy. This was the big story of yesterday. If you missed it, you must have been living under a rock. But the big story was not only the CEO of X/Twitter, Linda Yaccarino, stepping down, which was allegedly planned for a little bit here, but it was also the fact that for a bit there, we just had kind of a bad piece of code get pushed up to Grok 3, and they had to revert it really, really quickly because the internet was having a field day with it, making and saying pretty racist, heinous stuff. But I guess good for a little bit of dark comedy. Yaccarino's break from Musk was months in the making. The ex-CEO stabilized the social media company's ad businesses, but contended with the erratic boss and pressure to move faster. So a lot of people thought this timing was super weird because it happened in one of the biggest fires at X, i.e. Grok 3 becoming Mecha Hitler. But apparently it was planned for a while, so maybe there's not that much to read into the whole situation. Early this morning, initial jobless claims coming in slightly less than expected, 227 versus 236. So that's good. I do want to remind you that at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're getting the 30-year bond auction. Generally, this doesn't impact the market, but if it goes poorly, it could definitely drop the market. So you might just want to pay, especially if you have like a 0 DT or an active trade like that, you might want to be paying attention at 1 p.m. Eastern. I also want to touch on the fact that at 2 p.m. yesterday, we got the FOMC meeting minutes, and there is some hope for, I guess, more rate cuts now. Most Fed officials see rate cuts coming, but opinions vary widely on how many according to the minutes. So up until this point, the entire FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee apparatus, was pretty much in agreement of like, hey, we're going to jack it up all at the same time. We're going to coast at the same time. And now we're kind of getting into this phase 3 of what will the cut cycle look like. And that's exactly where we have some varying opinions. And we have Trump continually popping off of a 3-point rate cut. Folks, that's not going to fucking happen. We begin lucky to be getting a 25 bips rate cut, maybe a 50, but a 3%. Folks, don't hold your breath on that. But anyway, this is spurring a little bit of optimism of like, okay, there's some dovish, I guess, commentary going on that maybe we could get 50 to 75 bips by the end of this year. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, macroeconomics.locals.com. It's in the description of the video. My mom will throw it in chat. I do a breakdown of the market. I give you a cheat sheet of all the major macroeconomic events, earnings if there are them, and then also probably most useful is the seasonality. And I do want to let you know that today, Thursday, July the 10th, over the past 27 years has favored the bulls. Now, for the first 15 years, not so much, but that was obviously on the first half of this study. While recently, you can see this is the hypothetical equity curve. You would have higher highs, higher lows. From a seasonality standpoint, the bulls do win this day 56% of the time, and it would be even better if we only looked in the past 15 years. So the profit factor is 1.55, and that's even after it gave up a good chunk of money. So the recent seasonality, once again, a decade and a half, definitely favoring the bulls. And then for those of you who are curious, also favors the bulls tomorrow. Over the past 27 years, the bulls have won this day 74% of the time. But to be fair, the past couple years have been a little bit more bearish, but overall, that's the hypothetical equity curve you would have. If you haven't already, check out these key levels of the day. It is in the Discord. Join up with the Discord. Your first month is free anyway. As I always do, green, red, and white is the previous trading session's high, low, and close. The white box is the transition zone of the 0 DT, gamma, and delta. That choppy zone is exactly that, choppy price action. Above it, we have the yellow lines that are the major open interest levels, 6275, 62, we'll call it 90, and then 6,300. And then just this white, or excuse me, the blue line, I have that today because that is the all-time high, so it'll be interesting if we get there. I thought it'd be useful to throw up. And then obviously the same thing on the bottom side. We have the key open interest levels and then a key breakdown level. As long as this market is holding 6,200, I am not going to change my bullish bias in the overall swing position. The longer we hold this, the stronger it is. We're seeing higher highs, we're seeing higher lows. Into close yesterday, we saw the big guys buying. That's going to make me a bit more optimistic right here. The big guys were buying into close. So there's various things that I'm obviously paying attention to that make me confident in the bullish bias. Now, obviously, if things develop, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but right now, that's exactly what has to happen. I have to be proven that the bears are somewhat gaining control, and it's as simple as this. Right now, that is not being shown whatsoever. All right, we have about a minute to go, which means this is your time to shine, folks. Your time to shine. Are you bullish or bearish on the day? Are you bullish or are you bearish on the day? Comment. Do you think we're going to be seeing that new all-time high? Do you think this is going to be our fourth day in a row of stalling out? Where is everyone at? Remember, you guys are my financial advisors, so I would love to know. I should also probably show you that I have been a good trader this morning. I have not traded anything. I have a new Tradeify account. I have my 20 Apex accounts, and I have my 5 Take Profit accounts. So we're going to see how this goes today. I am going to try to be a good trader and only take the systematic trade. So we're going to see how that pops off. We're going to see if Skynet rides for me today. And actually on that particular note, This is our first time partnering up with Tradeify, and they are running an amazing deal right now where some people don't like to take the evals. They allow you to skip and go straight to funded. I know that looks costly on the onset, but for your first time, you can use that code Goonie to get 50% off. So instead of paying $500, you'll pay $250. And I cannot clarify this enough. You're allowed to go straight to funded, no eval. You can start trading on an actual account where if you do well, you can get payouts literally on day one. And then they have other options as well. And you can see this is more of the eval one. So it's up to you, but I know I just get some commentary of people not wanting to do the eval stages. So check it out, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Use that code Goonie to get 50% off. And obviously you could apply that to any of these. So if you want to take it, they have two different types of evals. Pick the one that is best for you. Or if you want to go straight to funded, as in out of the gate, already trading for real money, please pay attention to the rules. But yeah, you could be looking real good real quick. All right, on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, we are looking for some fresh highs today, folks. The 5-minute is bullish, the 30-minute is bullish, the 10-minute is bullish, and the 4-hour is also bullish. I would love to see this breakout right here, kind of a post-market high around 6,312 on ES, and we are right there. On the Nasdaq, the 5-minute is bullish, the 10-minute is bullish, the 10 and the 30 are bullish, and then the 4-hour actually already getting that breakout, and really the next major level is a fresh all-time high. So Nasdaq looking phenomenal, the SPY looking very, very good across the board. The bulls are continuing to dominate in the smallest of time frames, and also up to, I would actually even argue, all time frames, being the fact that we're at fresh highs. So obviously looking for Bitcoin to ideally make a fresh high as well. We did take out this previous high from late May, 112,000 flat. The new high, at least according to Coinbase is 112,153 buckaroos. So I'm going to be looking to see how that one plays out today. And then obviously as this gets going right here, look at that. We're already back in the chop zone. All right. So we opened above the closing. We opened slightly, not much, but slightly above the closing value from yesterday. Little bit of a pop, little bit of a pullback. What I'll be looking for is a base to be made somewhere in the first really half hour to 45 minutes of trading. I want it to base. Maybe it happens soon. Maybe it happens a little bit later. But I want to see a very nice base being made out of the gate, and then we pop off of that, get out of the transition zone, take out the high of yesterday, go up to 6275, and then keep riding it up and taking out level by level. But after 6275, at that point, we would be talking about a fresh all-time high. So not really rushing anything out of the gate. We got a little bit of a pop minute one. We have some profit takers right now. The Qs tagging their closing value, the SPY obviously already tagging its closing value, Nvidia giving a little bit up, but it's still a gap up, like it is still green on day. Tesla is actually making some moves right now. What's Tesla doing? Tesla's up 2.7%. Interesting. Meta's at 730. Palantir seemingly making a move. Tesla seemingly making a move. Let me reload this so you can see the options flow. Let's just get settled into the day. So right out of the gate, definitely some profit taking, calls being sold, some 0DT puts being bought. So really starting about 30 seconds into the day, a little bit of profit taking. And then Mag 7, actually we have some buyers stepping in. So if the Mag 7 has its way, basically they're just waiting for these profit takers to stop, and then maybe we pop off of that. Obviously, another tool that we could continually check in on is what in the world is happening with these active trades. Looks like there's a lot of sell side liquidity, a lot of targets up here, a lot of people trying to get out at 23,100. And then it looks like we have some buyers trying to step in at 23,000 flat. So remember, the darker the color, that means that there's more sitting orders. So we have sitting passive sell orders, we have sitting passive buy orders, and then the bubbles are on the chart are those aggressive orders, are people transversing that, like I guess the spread depending on the direction. So if you see green, that means buyers are aggressively hitting the ask, and if you see the red, people are aggressively hitting the bid. And apparently Skynet is rocking it today. Where are we going, Skynet? Skynet went short. Skynet went short. First trade for Skynet out of the gate. How are we doing today? Skynet, what are you doing? What are you doing, Skynet? Come on. Don't. There we go.
Filled.
There we go. Good hit out of the gate. So 21, 27 accounts. So just made $2,700, about $100 per one. Some are over 100, some are below 100. But Skynet's first trade, this iteration gazillion of Skynet, trading around 935. And all right, we'll take it. We'll take it. That's a good start to the day. No sweat to me. I didn't have to do anything too crazy. But like I said, trading on I myself did a straight to funded account. So right away, I don't know, I'm happy with the $100. First trade right there, Tradeify. Obviously, I have these new fresh PA accounts on Apex, so I made about 100 there. And then I'm doing the evals. I have 5 evals on Take Profit. So we just applied one basic system to it. Basically, the breakdown of VWAP right there. The super trend, obviously a bit bearish, so not bad. A little bit of a VWAP breakdown. I'm not upset about it. Good way to start off the day. Didn't have to do too much. What I'm really actually excited about is the bounce back. That's what I'm really excited about, is if we can bounce right out of this. And I want to see if the algorithm's going to fire the other way and take the bounce. Let's see if we can get the VWAP. We got the VWAP breakdown trade, but let's see if it'll actually properly catch the VWAP bounce trade, if there is a VWAP bounce trade. All right, so we're locked in. One trade, easy peasy lemon squeezies. I actually don't even think I was in that trade for a full minute. So, hey, I'll take that. Tesla breaks 305. Hey, I'm a fan. The one thing, do I want to increase the profit target? So that one went for 100. Oh, it went for 100 because it's a counter trend trade, though. It went for 100 because it's a counter trend trade. Obviously, the overall trend is up, and that was a short. So the SPY, we're still seeing some profit target or profit taking 6 minutes into the day, basically just waiting for that to chill. What do I want to do? Strategies. You know what I'm going to do? All right. Wait, if I turn this off, will it get fucked up? I don't think so. Will it get fucked up? Okay. All right. I think we are good. I have it exactly how I want it for this potential bounce. We're letting it rock. We're letting it rock and roll, folks. All right. So we popped, we dropped, we're flat. We're deciding if buyers want to step in. Palantir looking good. Tesla looking good. Nvidia green. Avago looking green. Bitcoin about $1,000 away, less than 1% from the all-time high. Would love a big bounce there. Coin's also been ripping it. Not to skip out on that one, but we talked about this for the past couple days. You have the pump, you have the pullback, you have fresh highs, you have that continuation, and now you're looking for the legit technical breakout around 382, which is getting close to its like all-time high, like back at those IPO numbers. So Coinbase on a ripper mid-June, chill, and now let's see if it can keep going. So probably worthwhile to, I don't know, just throw up some alerts, maybe worthwhile to put on your watch list and whatnot. But we are in this chop transition zone. The 1 minute is at its EMA lines. 5 minute maybe going bearish right here. 30-minute bullish, 10-minute testing. And that's with respect to NQ. With respect to ES, the 5 minute got hit, but 5 minutes bouncing, 10 minutes still bullish, 30 minutes bullish. So there's more bullishness in terms of momentum than bearishness, but obviously worthwhile to pay attention to the 5 minute and the 10. You don't want the 10 to make that fresh low, which basically means you don't want to see the continuation to the downside, because that break of this bar, that the cloud might start to go red. Maybe they want to test 23,000. I know here on Bookmap, we did see quite a bit of buying interest, a lot of sitting buy orders right there. Sitting buy orders. So basically you have people who are short trying to get out right there. These are their target levels. Target levels. It's not a stop buy. It is a limit buy, as in people are short trying to get out at 23,005 and 23,000 flat, which actually reminds me. Okay, cool. So right now, not the most movement. If there's any questions on this, I think I could actually answer them a bit better today, just because I did have a call with the head of education at Bookmap yesterday. What you see on the screen right now is Bookmap. And not only, I'm looking at NQ and ES, but it's just a colorized, it's an interesting tool to see a colorized heat map of where the sitting buy orders are and where the sitting sell orders are. Obviously, the darker the color, there's more there. And you can kind of see it as this profile, the histogram on the right here pops. Like, so for example, at 23,022, there's a lot of people trying to buy there, but these are target levels, as in it's shorts trying to get out. Or it could be a limit buy, but it would be not, it's not going to be a buy stop. It'd be a limit. It's some form of a limit buy. Most likely it's shorts trying to get out, most likely, but it could just be a straight up limit buy for someone to get in. All we know, these are limit buys and these are limit sells. Most of the time the limits are going to be to close, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But pretty much we're right at VWAP. Pretty much we're right at the point of control. We're at a point of neutrality right now, as in the market's trying to decide which way it either does or doesn't want to break, which I suppose is fair. Yeah, that broke down there. But what I'm curious is actually if this is going to get filled at 23,022, maybe a little bit of an overshoot, and then we pop right out of that. I mean, this dark red means there's a lot of people trying to buy right there. So a lot of buy side like liquidity. We got close to it here at 941, but let's see. This yellow line is just VWAP, point of control. Well, VWAP's here. So they just happen to be basically the same thing today. So yeah, we just keep coming back to this basically average value of the market today. What I'm really curious about, what we're going to see here is right here. We're about to hit these guys. Remember, these are sitting buy orders. These are limit buy orders, buy side liquidity. So they'll probably be traversing the spread to hit it. So you'll probably see some red dots, large red dots. That's aggressive. And then let's see if basically right out of it, we get some of those green dots and get a bounce right back up to the point of control. So like I said, I'm a little bit newer to this. I'm doing my best to learn as rapidly as I can. But my prediction here is we take out some of this liquidity, maybe a bit of an overshoot where people would be referring to it as like, oh, they were hunting my stops, when in reality, they're just taking out this liquidity. Like I could show you, like intentionally, there's a lot of sitting orders here. My prediction is they come down, they take some of these out, we see some red bubbles, it stabilizes, and then we see a succession of green bubbles taking us right back up to VWAP and the point of control. But let's see if it happens. Let's see. And once again, this is on the NASDAQ. This is on NQ. You could do it with your favorite equities. I'm looking at ES on the futures market and NQ, but this type of analysis can be done really on any of it. Right here, same thing. You have buyers trying to get in on the ES contract for the S&P 500 around 6297, and then it is running into some selling liquidity, some targets right up here, which happens to align with VWAP and also the POC, which is the largest volume node of the day. But yeah, right now we're literally by mathematical definition at equilibrium right now. So I don't see any. Did I get frozen, folks? Artichokes, folks and artichokes, mom. Spaghettios. Am I back, mom? I just closed out one of my programs. I'm thinking that maybe I'm running my CPU a little bit too hot. Maybe I'm running my CPU a little bit too hot. Am I back? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Folks are here. You are live. You are not. But was I frozen for a second? Everything froze on my end for me. But I'm thinking that maybe I need to run some of my programs on a different computer just to free up a little bit of CPU. But that's a tomorrow problem. That is a tomorrow problem. Not why freak out about it today when we can take care of it a little bit later. Nothing froze but your trading view window. Huh. I wonder if it was the old switcheroo. All right, so right now, Tesla is the biggest gainer of the day on my watch list, followed by Palantir, and then NVIDIA, Avago, and Coin are all looking pretty decent. The options flow on the day for them. This is telling me the bulls are trying to make, they're trying to take a shot. The bulls, especially in the tech-heavy Mag 7, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, this flow is telling me they're waiting to pounce. They are not giving up. It's the SPY that we had a lot of profit taking for about the first 12 minutes, and now maybe it's swinging back around. So I think right now in the options market, we are waiting for some 0DTE players to buy calls, sell puts, and get this delta to pop. And then obviously we would also love to see maybe, they still haven't taken out that liquidity that we talked about. That's a lot of, right here. This might be it. Okay, they just came for it. See that? As I predicted, they they traversed the spread, they hit the bid, they got the fill. Those sitting buy orders got filled. They did not pull the order. Yes, there are more sitting buy orders down here at 23,012 and 10. But what I would be looking for, so just because you see that, to my understanding, that's not necessarily your signal to buy. You're just, you kind of clock that in your head of okay, we have some large buyers getting filled at 23,020. Then from there, what I would look for, and hey, I'm not your mom, you could do what you want. I'd be looking for large buyers to come in, aggressive buyers. Remember, over here, when you see the colors on the chart, these are passive. Passive buyers are the colors below, and then passive sellers are the colors above. But when you see the bubbles on the chart, that's people aggressively buying or selling. So this was aggressive selling into those passive buyers. And hang on, we might get a second attempt right here. See how we never really saw? Okay, what are we doing? What I'd be looking for is for some of this liquidity, those buyers to get in, get happy with their positions, and then from there, I'd want to see the aggressive buying. And we just haven't seen the aggressive buying. We are seeing the buy-side liquidity get filled out. That's basically these, the giant red bubbles right at these colorized zones. They did get filled. This one wasn't filled quite yet. We do have some buyers coming in. I still think that there's a shot of these guys. Dude, actually, we have people trying to get filled at 10, at 5, and at 23,000 flat. A lot of buyers trying to get filled at these three zones. So, you could have taken a shot on that. That's quite a bit of aggressive buying. To me, I would still be a little bit more patient, especially because we're not even in the 10 a.m. hour. But honestly, what I see this setting up as is as a fake out for the 15-minute Orbo breakdown. There is a chance, because it's 9:47 now, I think there might be people chasing this 15-minute Orbo breakdown, but what they don't realize is there's a lot of buyers that could easily make this bounce at 23,000. So if you are that 15-minute Orbo breakdown trader, if you're trying to trade that breakdown, well, first of all, it's not looking so good for you. And second of all, even if it goes your way, I don't know how much distance you're going to have. I can tell you in real time, we have buyers sitting at 2310, 23.4, and 23,000 with a lot sitting at 23,000 flat. Key technical level, key psychological level. This just shows that a lot of humans are in this trade right now. A lot of humans are in this trade right now. So let's see how this plays out. But my mystic math prediction is that some of this liquidity gets filled, this buy side liquidity, and then we bounce out of this zone back to VWAP and the point of control. Will that happen? I don't know, but that's my mystic math prediction for the market. Matt, you know how to do the stanky leg, y'all think? Phenomenal question from Tom, as always. No, I don't. I'm actually a uniquely horrible dancer and singer, which is so sad because I feel like people who can dance and can sing are a lot of the times the life of the party. Those are two skills I don't have. I don't know if I'd ever be able to teach myself how to sing, but to be able to dance, I feel like all I'd have to do is take some classes. All right, here we go. This might be it. Let's see if my prediction is right. So I'm thinking a lot of those 15-minute Orbo traders are about to get demolished. Let's see. All right, so they filled the buy side. People actively buying, people aggressively selling into them. And now we're not done yet. Just because this got hit, to my understanding, that's not what you would use as your signal to play some type of mean reversion. What you would use for some type of mean reversion is you actually want to see those aggressive buyers stepping in, which they just haven't yet. Actually, we just saw a little bit of a book flip there. Someone is now trying to sell at 92. Oh, just took, okay. So we had some aggressive buyers. That's just one little batch though. See all this selling? Look at it. Just a little bit of buying early this morning and out of the gate, just aggressive selling. You're looking for that to do the old flipperoo. You're looking for that to do the old flipperoo. The official. All right, Carlos, I'm banning you. Hide user from channel. I mean, anyone who's promoting some meme coin scam is obviously going to get like instantly banned. All right, so we have some buying stepping in here. Natural retest of 23,000. Like I said, I told you, I thought they were going to take this level out. And now, so the first half of my prediction's right. Let's see if the second half of my prediction's going to be right. And they bounce it all the way back up to VWAP, to the point of control, to that type of a thing. We are seeing some buying. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I just took a long trade on that. Putting my money where my mouth is, folks. We'll see. We'll see. Putting my money where my mouth is. Let's see if my own prediction can help make me money. And my reasoning is somewhat basic. Like, I already had a bullish bias on the day. We knew this was a key level. The classic, like, oh, they just came for my stop. Selling. First round of buying. Sellers got weak right here. See how small these bubbles are? The sellers got weak all morning. Strong. Okay, some buying, but maybe you need to like have it be proven to you. We know buyers were willingly buying at 23,000, 23,004, and 23,010. So buyers, weak sellers, more buyers stepping in. That's going to be my signal. And if I'm wrong, okay, my risk is this recent low. Obviously, I'd prefer that it takes out 23,015. The buyers are getting a little bit weak. Like, I wanted that follow through, but let's see. Let's see. Now, starting at 51, we have sellers trying to get out here. Well, now it's just everyone's getting lethargic. See how the bubbles are just getting smaller and smaller? Uh-oh. Someone's hitting the sell side. I'm about to get stopped out. We just didn't get the follow through. These buyers just got way too weak. My stop's at 80. I'm about to get clocked. Oh. All right, I just got clocked out at 80. I was trying to use these guys as my support. First one, no luck, no cigar. We had some buying come in, but there was just no follow through. Someone started to sell here. But let's see what I could do. Maybe there's going to be a second opportunity. Maybe, just maybe, there's going to be a second opportunity. Let's check the options flow. Let's start putting a couple of these things together. S&P, see, I try to ride this because even the options flow started to actually pick up, but then there was just no follow through, which that's going to happen. And that's not so good that the Mag 7's not looking the strongest at the moment. Palantir's holding. Tesla's bleeding off a little bit. Mag 7, a little float down. SPY, a little float down. A little float down. Come on. What are we doing? Where are the buyers? Marco Polo, fish out of water. Yeah. We had selling all morning, a little bit of buying, and now it's just somewhat struggling. Just have to be patient. Yeah, we saw that selling. Here's what the full session has looked like so far. So basically, market open was all the way over here in the top left. Sold, some buying, some selling, flat, flat, flat. Then a little bit of selling. The buying tried to push it back up, couldn't. Clear selling, try to buy, couldn't. Right here. I got in on this thinking, okay, there's the buying. I saw the first batch of selling, and I was just hoping that the selling would continue, but obviously you never know the next trade. So then we have a whole nother set of selling, and now is the second time the charm. Are the buyers ever going to step in? I see large buy orders flash in here at 75. Some buyers are trying to step in, maybe. Are they going to take out 90? We just have to wait. We just have to wait. 5 minute is now bearish, 10 minutes testing, 30 minutes still bullish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute. Actually, that could be not so good. But we are at these important levels. This is the post and the pre-market low. Like, this isn't the craziest area for it to bounce. Around 2100, around 1 in the morning, right here. We are at some structural lows now. Not so much on the S&P 500. But very much on the NASDAQ in the bottom left of your screen. 1:30 in the morning, about 10 at night. We're just right in that zone of will it keep pushing it or not. S&P 500, Delta is at the lowest of its day. Mag 7 was looking good up until about 946, now taking a little bit of a hit. Will this ever turn around? The SPY's trying to turn around. There's just quite a bit of selling on the Mag 7. You could see that in the options market right there. But then you could also see it straight up. Pretty much. Big round of selling from 948 to 950. 2 minutes of just selling, taking out all these buyers. Try to bounce it. Nope. Ran into resistance. Another round of selling. And now the selling's getting a little bit more lethargic. See how many times people were traversing and hitting the bid, just aggressively getting out. They did it again. But see how the dots are getting smaller? The pace of this is calming down now. Price is still obviously at the low of the day, but I wonder if this is a sign that things are about to chill. Things are about to chill. Oh, so that's some buying coming in right there at 70. Yeah, we just have to wait. We just have to wait. Wow, there's a lot of trades going on right now. It's not necessarily strongly imbalanced between the aggression, but you could see we have quite a bit of buyers that just got taken out at 50. And now they're getting taken out at 45. Holy crap, folks. What's interesting is today's been dominated by passive buyers and aggressive sellers. We've only seen little spurts of aggressive buyers coming in. I wonder if they're waiting for the change of the hour, if that's what it's set up to do. At a certain point, you just wonder how much aggressive buying can there possibly be, or aggressive selling. A lot of people trying to get out of their bags, but we are about to hit the change of the hour. About to. So let's see what this brings. All right. Maybe we found some form of a short-term low. 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes testing, 30 minutes bullish, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute broke down, 4 hours still bullish. But see how, what I don't like here is that this 4 hour took out all of these wicks. And that would be another 30 points all the way down there. SPX is in the transition zone. The bottom of the transition zone is 50. I guess there is somewhat of an argument of maybe being patient and wait for that. Maybe. But we opened up green, quickly pushed red, try to get back up, smacked at the red to green move at 9:39, and then once again 9:48. Golly gee willikers. Golly. Just nothing quite yet. Are we still just seeing options markets still getting hit? S&P 500 still getting hit. You have some buyers attempting to line up here at the intraday low at 40. Will they hold? All day we've just been seeing them, the buy side liquidity get filled like it's nothing. Someone with size is getting out. Big players, at least across the entire equities market, aren't doing much quite yet. We took out 40. What was that other level at? 20. Little bit of buying at like 947. Little bit of buying at 951. And then other than that, we just haven't seen anything come in quite yet. Lots of red dots, folks. Lots of, this is the net difference between hitting the bid versus hitting the ask, and even that, just selling. NQ breaking down on the 30 minute there, taking out that low. You'd think at a certain point there's even like a mean reverting trade that's going to show itself, but no. But no. Well, I'm not happy that my one trade was a losing trade, but I'm very happy I got out, because I would be an extra 50 points underwater right now. An extra 50 points, which would by no means be ideal. All right, some buyers are finally stepping in here at 20. But is it just going to be like before? They step in, get taken out. They step in, they get taken out. They step in, they get taken out. All right, we're seeing some people hit the ask. Okay. We see some sitting. All right. Options flow still looks like trash. Bouncing off the low from yesterday. I'm going to take a stab at this.
Order submitted.
Obviously, my risk is this recent low. Oh, shit. Really? The second I do it, all this selling comes in up here? Really? All right, so this wasn't just the natural 20 rung. This was also the low from yesterday. So I think there was a lot of sitting buy orders. I'm long at 48 and we're trading at 35. So I got in when I saw this bubble getting formed. I was like, okay, finally we have some buying. Like, finally. I was just attempting to be patient for that. The other time I did this was up here, and then obviously that the buying just quickly dissipated, which feels like that might be the current vibe of this play. Jesus. None of these bounces are being sustained. On the second time around, not only was I waiting for some buying to come in, but I was also waiting for the change of the hour, which obviously we just got that. I was hoping that 10 a.m. would come and their whatever bots would run, but it looks like that Hail Mary of a play is not doing what I need it to. Yeah, this is a heat map of the sitting buy orders and the sitting sell orders. The DOM, the depth of market. So when you see like yellow, there's some there. When you see orange, there's a decent amount there. And when you see red, that means there's a lot sitting there. These are limit buys, or excuse me, limit sells up top. It's always limit sells above and limit buys below. So I'm trying to zoom into, I guess, so you can see how, like, fuck, dude, we're taking this out. Yeah, it's just waterfall to the next level at 10. Dude, we just took out another chunk. See how it just keeps blowing through all these buy side orders, as in pretty much all day. This has just been aggressive selling, which I kind of anticipated maybe for like 5 or 10 minutes out of the gate. I definitely did not think that would be happening 35 minutes into the day. Holy shit. You were spot on 2 days ago. The Bears are in charge now. What changed? Honestly, they're not in charge. You're trying to say that the Bears are in charge because of 30 minutes of trading. That's an insane statement. I think retail traders get way too caught up in what's going on in the short term. Dude, we hit an all-time high yesterday, and you're trying to argue that the Bears are in control? Like,
Order canceled.
it's just so incredibly dramatic. Like, I don't know why retail traders get spun up like that. So, like, literally, an all-time high was hit yesterday in the NASDAQ, and you're trying to say, what happened, man? Why are the Bears in control? Like, what? Like, literally, an all-time high was hit, and you're trying to say, I think the Bears are in control. What? How? By definition, hitting a record high, that means the bulls are in control. Like, it's just, I don't know. You need to fucking take a chill pill, I would say. I would say you need to take a chill pill. Why did my order get pulled? Something, I fucked up my copier again. How? Well, I don't understand how I keep doing this. But alas, I do. I don't know. I think I need to download the newest version of the copier or something like that. I need to figure it out. Anyway, I try to go long at the low, just betting on some sort of reversionary trade. I was basically seeing that there's a bunch of buyers like stepping in, or I thought they were, and then for the second time today, they got faded once again, and they seem to continually get faded. Anytime buyers are stepping in all day, they're just getting smashed. Someone's saying, make this make sense. It's really not that complicated. You have sitting buy orders below, you have sitting sell orders above, and it colorizes the heat map based on how many of those. So it's a darker color. See this like dark red right here? That's a lot of sitting buy orders at 22,900. A lot of sitting buy orders. If it's above, that's sitting sell orders. Limit buys below, limit sells above, and it colors it based on how many. So the closer to dark red it gets, that means that there's a lot sitting there. If it's like this kind of like light blue, there's like a little bit sitting there, not much. Basically, it's colorizing this first histogram that you're seeing over here. But this is just, it's a visual way to interpret the DOM, the depth of market. It's that's all it is. Sitting buy orders, sitting sell orders, and then the dots on the screen are the aggressive buys and the aggressive sells. Obviously, the aggressive sells are red and the aggressive buys are green, and the aggressive buying versus selling is defined as, are they traversing the bid? If someone is traversing the bid to buy, they're hitting the ask, that's an aggressive buy. They're like literally willing to buy it at above mid price because they're trying to get in. And then the opposite is also true. It's a red circle if it's aggressive selling, as in there's a seller traversing the spread to meet the passive buyer on the bid. So the colorized stuff is passive buying and passive selling, and then the dots are aggressive buying and aggressive selling. So you get an idea of where the passive sellers and the passive buyers are, and then you also simultaneously in real time get an idea of how the aggressive people are behaving in the market. Are they aggressively buying or selling? Are they neutral? So for example, today, let me scroll back to roughly 9:30 right here. You see where the buy orders were sitting. They were sitting at 23,025. They were sitting at 23,000, and now there's not as much. And remember, sitting buy orders are always going to be below the current price. And then the other thing are these colorized things. So out of the gate, you had a bit of aggressive selling, then it was neutral, back and forth, and then aggressive selling. Buyers try to step in, nope, aggressive selling. Buyers try to step in again. And now we're kind of getting almost to that fatigue point where maybe the buyers are actually, for the first time in the day, trying to show up. And so this is aggressive selling. Remember, the dots are aggressive buying and aggressive selling. And then the heat map is passive buying and passive selling. That's probably the quick and dirtiest way to understand what the fuck's happening on the screen. But also so that's what's on the screen right here. So the key is you don't use this by itself. You don't use where are the buyers and the sellers, what's aggressive buying, aggressive selling. You're going to want to use that, obviously, with the options flow. So not only was there aggressive selling, but we saw aggressive selling also in the options market up until about 10:07. In the Mag 7, about 10:06. Maybe this is a bottom, maybe not. So now we're putting in the real-time trading and the sitting orders with options flow. And then there's a couple other things you could do to tie it together. What are the big guys doing? Slight buyers, but nothing too special there. And then from there, you would also want to use these key levels. So we know we're naturally in a transition zone. But for example, if SPX got down here to 6250, if we got to this key technical, psychological, and open interest level, and then on top of that, we also saw that there was a lot of sitting buy orders that got filled, and then aggressive buyers came in, and we saw a lot of green, and then that simultaneously happened with a turn in the options market. That's like a very high odds sign that the selling has been exhausted and the buying's going to start. And then from there, you're basically just trying to see how long will the buying go on for. That's how it works. And even though we didn't hit the key level 6250 on SPX, we did hit this key level on the Qs. We hit the low from yesterday, and the low from yesterday also happens to roughly align like right here. You could just see where my cursor is across the board, just kind of a pivotal level where people have reacted in the past. So you want to identify key structural levels, the trend, what's going on with options flow. You want to check out the big players. And then last but not least is you want to see what the actual buying and selling is currently doing for more of like a fine-tuned entry and exit. That's probably the best way I could explain. But no individual tool itself is the end-all be-all. If you're using the options flow, you don't know where the buyers and the sellers are sitting in the actual market. If you're using those two, you don't know what the big guys are doing across the overall market. If you're just using this, maybe on too short of a time frame, too long of a time frame, you might not know where the key levels are. And in terms of trend, you obviously want to see the structure, higher highs and higher lows. So you want to put all these things together. They're all individual pieces of the puzzle that are going to tell you something slightly different, but they're going to help you develop your bias. So for example, coming into today, it's safe to say you should have a bullish bias. The options market is call dominated. We had large players buying into close yesterday. And then on top of that, call dominated not only today, but tomorrow. And we just hit record highs, and we know that the overall market is more trend following than mean reverting. So whenever you hit new highs, it's better to bet on a newer high being hit rather than a reversal. Just statistically, that's what you want to look. So that's like the bigger view. That's the 10,000 foot view of like, okay, bulls are in control. Great. Then the market opens, and you have this bullish bias and you're looking for something to do like intraday. So does that mean you just arbitrarily buy? No, because you have examples literally like today where you have quite a bit of profit taking, and instead of happening for only 5 minutes where you can buy that dip at 9:33, 9:35, 9:40, instead today it seemingly happened for literally 35 minutes, which is absolutely crazy, but hey, it happened. And at that point, not only were we seeing a clear selling of just like people aggressively hitting the bid over and over and over again, it also happened with a clear sell-off in the options market. Right here, the SPY trending all the way down for the first 35 minutes. The Mag 7 trending down from 946 to 1006. So 20 minutes of selling there, 35 minutes of selling there. So options flow, you had profit taking, calls dropping, puts being bought. And then on the Mag 7, you had quite a bit of profit taking as well, the calls being sold. So aggressive selling in the futures market, people hitting the bid, and options selling off. So even though you have this bullish bias, you now have contradictory information. So now you're at the point of like, okay, can you identify a key level where it might bounce off of? So my first trade of the day was maybe this bounce here, 947. We swept the low. Maybe it's a fake out. We were at the key level, 23,000. We saw some buyers stepping in and they just didn't have enough strength. And that's why you always have to respect your risk. And then you wait, it gets hit, it gets hit, it gets hit, it gets hit. And now you're saying, okay, what's the next reasonable level? Well, I would contest that there's two. You could be looking at 6,250 on SPX, or at that point, you could be looking at yesterday's low on Qs. Those are both key levels. So you wait to come to this key level, and then you ask yourself, what's going on with options? What's going on with the overall market? Are buyers stepping in? And check out also the big guys. So you check those out. All right, let's do an analysis. What happened as soon as we hit that? Well, maybe we started to see a swing around. Options starting to pick up in the S&P 500. Maybe options are starting to swing around in the Mag 7. Maybe. Interesting. And then the big guys are actually literally just now buying. So to be fair, they weren't buying at the time that I did anything, but they are actually, you could see a little uptick right here. Larger buyers are starting to step in real time, uptick right now in real time. So it's just like, I hope you kind of I hope you see the point that I'm attempting to illustrate of putting the various things together. You're developing a larger bias, and then from there, you want to see in the shorter time frame, does that shorter time frame set up with the larger bias? And obviously you want to do it in a place that you can still manage risk well and obviously have optimal reward. Like no matter what, you're never going to be 100% trader. So you're just looking for low risk, high reward opportunities that make sense in the shorter term, that make sense in the larger picture. And I would argue you can put all that together from the smallest time frame to the largest picture by using the daily chart for the setup, by using options flow and the option setup for various time frames, using the real-time stuff on something like Bookmap, using the options, like the gamma map, the key levels, like they're all just pieces of the puzzle you're putting together. That's it, time and time again. And when enough of this stuff fits together, you say, okay, cool. Can I get in with a low-risk setup? And if you can, have at it. And I attempted to do one of those today, did not go in my favor. I attempted to do a second one, and as of right now, on the second one, I'm break even. So I had one winning trade out of the gate, and that was the bot. The second trade, I tried to buy it, and it just got goosed. And now the third one, maybe I finally caught the fish. I don't know. We're about to find out. Because remember, inherently, all this is still based on things that are about to happen. Are people about to like ravage, like just like buy this all the way up? I don't know. Like, are the buyers going to be aggressive? All I can tell you is that they were nowhere to be found, and now I'm starting to see some green. I see a lot of sell side liquidity. That's going to be a tough thing to break. I guarantee that if this breaks 22,975, you're going to see a lot of sellers set up for 23,000 flat. So that, but see how it's getting dark? There's people are trying to get out in real time. These, remember, if it's above, those are sitting sell orders. They're trying to sell. Like people are trying to take their profits there. If there's enough profit taking, that means the bulls are leaving. And then, okay, are are the other group of bulls who aren't selling, are they going to aggressively buy up to the next level? But I bet as we get closer and closer to 23,000, you're going to see that get real dark. I bet a lot of people are going to want to take their profits there if we can get out of this sell side liquidity. Remember, if it's above us, that's sell side liquidity. If it's below us, that's buy side liquidity. These are sitting passive sell orders. These are sitting passive buy orders. Selling above, buying below. I know when you think about it, that sounds rudimentary, but I think just because there's a lot going on and we're talking about a lot, it's good to remind everyone of the basics. But if we could take out this liquidity, yeah, we're then watching 23,000, which guess what? Was buy side liquidity earlier today. So we're almost seeing if we can flip this. Buy side liquidity got murked. Finally, buyers are stepping in. Is there enough juice to not only hit 23,000? And then if there is enough juice, is there enough vodka to keep this going above 23,000 flat? Oh, I see some weird things going on here. Let's look at the options flow. So the SPY going back green. So the Qs are definitely lagging behind today. Like without a doubt, they are lagging behind today. The SPY has almost made a full trip all the way back up. Not only has it gone from green to red back to green, it's almost at its intraday high, while the Qs have done a total of fuck all. All right, I need this to hold. I very much need this to hold. All right, I'm back in the green here.
Order submitted.
Okay. I don't know what that was. I really fucked something up with the copier. I think I need to take the copier off my system and download it because I've been having various issues all week with that one. I need to fix it without a doubt.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Just attempting to do a little bit of reasonable management here. Things are getting a little bit faster. I'm seeing more trades hitting. I was green for a second. I don't know what the fuck happened. Less than ideal. We must be running in to a round of selling. So the SPY having a tough time on this red to green move. Popped its head up for a second, getting hit. And this is just spelling trouble for the Qs. Spelling trouble as of now. Mag 7 right here. Delta's dropping. S&P 500 ripped. And then at 1018 dropping once again. I was attempting... What I just messed up on my copier, I was attempting to actually get a stop in for break even and then just whatever. If you're fishing, you're fishing. But unfortunately, I was too slow to the draw, and now I'm back to the point of a little bit of praying. 5 minutes is bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minute, 4 hour. So everything on the S&P 500 is currently bullish. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour. On the flip side, the 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute is all bearish on NQ. Granted, the 4 hour is still bullish, but we are very much being sold the tale of two stories right now. The tech sector is weak. Was there some news on Netflix? I mean, your guess would be as good as mine. It's down 2.5%. I mean, Netflix does move like this. It's just selling, it looks like. I don't know if it's news driven. Yeah, the options market. People are selling calls, buying puts. Like the delta is just dropping very, very rapidly. Very rapidly on Netflix. I don't know if there's news, but I mean, Netflix has plus and minus 2% days commonly, so it doesn't have to necessarily be puts. I'm not seeing breaking news on Netflix. I think this is just, I mean, the fact that calls, this could just be active traders profit taking. All right, I am praying that this low we just put in at 1021 is the first higher low of the day. You know, that's what I should have waited for this morning. So the one trade that I thought I was kind of being cute and buying it and like getting out of there, I should have waited for the next high and then the next low. Like in reality, this is the point that I should be caring about, to like let the market prove itself to me. I was definitely way too early, way too early. Like, why try to catch the falling knife on the first low? Wait for the market structure to actually change. Be like, okay, lower highs, lower lows, potential, and then wait for that first higher low. So I got in somewhere in here between 10 and like basically the turn of the hour. And in reality, I should have waited for 1021 because this is the first potential higher low. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That would have been a more shrewd trade. But we'll see. We'll see if I'm going to get lucky today. How deep is this pullback going to be? Obviously, we sold all day. We got a little bit of a pump. This is going to be the telling thing. Is this the classic A, B, C, and D, and we just vomit? Or was this the vomit, we put in a higher low, and then all of a sudden we either have a double bottom or a higher low, and we get that V-shaped Nike swoosh recovery? It appears as if the S&P 500 is saying, hey, like, whatever, Nike swoosh, V-shape, like the overall market's looking good. Its tech is getting murdered right now. So much selling is tech. So much selling in tech. Jesus. Fuck me. Dude, it's not giving me one chance here. It's not giving me a chance. Is the Mag 7 still getting blown up? Not as much, but still closer to the low of the day than the high of the day. S&P 500, big pop, big drop. So sold all day, big pop, try to recover. Mag 7 didn't allow it, and now it's getting hit again. Jesus. What the fuck? Yeah, now if anything... Wow. The sad thing is if I just let the system run, I'd be up right now. That's the really sad thing. If I just let the system do what the system wants to do. Is it going to double bottom here? I'm looking at this secondary touch of the low from yesterday. Is it going to be a W formation? Obviously, the confirmation of that is the breakout of 554.34, this high here at 1018. Netflix getting slaughtered, Meta getting hit, everything just kind of getting smacked across the board. Oddly enough, Apple's green. The one that's been weak when everything else was strong. Well, my day is officially fooked, period. Oh, well, nothing I can do about Watch Money Bird. Passed my first eval. Congrats, Dustin. Reminder, folks, if you don't even want to take an eval, Tradeify allows straight to funded. I know this looks expensive, but if you use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, you will get 50% off your first account and then 35% off any following one. So you can, it is cheaper if you go through either of their evals as well. But if you want to go straight to funded, as in not even having to worry about an eval, you can do it. I know it looks costly, but that's before you apply the coupon code. Apple is maybe trying to keep us alive. Dude, tech is just fucking things up right now. What are we doing, man? What in the world are we doing? Vibes are low. Apple's going. But I guess the rest of the world is not getting the memo. Apple's doing its thing. Tesla's up a decent percent, not moving the most intraday. Mag 7 maybe stabilizing. S&P 500 dump, pump, dump. Doesn't know what it wants to do. Jeez. Looks like there's... Whoa. Quite a bit of buyers at 2905 and at 2,900. So people are identifying the intraday low, yesterday's low, and also, I suppose, just this key psychological level, 22,900. But it's just like aggressive buyers have been nowhere to be found today. Like they have like little spurts at some of these levels, like the day's first potential reversal, key levels, and then they just like disappear. It's been so evidently dominated all day by like hardcore aggressive selling. Like they're just running through all the buy side liquidity. And at a certain point, you would think that there's just natural exhaustion of just like, okay, how much do people really need to sell in one day? I should have fucking waited. Oh, I knew it, dude. That's been my problem. I mean, you guys can attest to it. You guys have been seeing me trade for like the past 3 weeks. I'm trading way too early. Like I'm trading on the first initial sign of maybe something rather than waiting for that confirmation. And today is another perfect example of it. Well, first of all, my very first trade was a system trade. That's fine, whatever. Made $100 on the 27 accounts, made 2.7K. Sick. All right. Second trade is a trade I still like. Like I do think there's a chance of this bouncing back today. It was just, I was just so incredibly early for no reason. Like I just saw a little bit of buying and I was like, okay, like let's take a rip. Not really letting it like prove itself to me. And I feel like I need to, I guess be more like actively cognizant about that, because like this was the point to do it. Let me scroll out. Jesus, this has been the story of the day. Look at all that selling, all this just hitting. I try to get in here. I should have waited for this second test to prove it, because why not wait for the first dip? Even if we rip the first dip, because there's circumstances like this where you could have just gotten in for a much better fill. So like I tried to get in. I think here was my very first trade, which was stupid. In hindsight, this was incredibly stupid just because like there wasn't enough buying. And then I got the second one here, but why not wait? Because even if this just kept going all the way up, okay, sometimes you're going to miss it if it does. But the other case is ones like this where it actually ends up being like a double bottom and you could actually get in at a much better. So instead of chasing it up here, like just a weak play on my part, a really weak play. I'm roughly break even right now. I'm paying attention. There's a lot of buy side liquidity. We're running into some here, but really watching this area right where we got rejected. And then from a technical standpoint, that would also be a reversal, obviously, taking out this. So the SPY is trying to put in a higher low. The SPY has officially put in a higher low and a higher high. The overall market, the S&P 500, is trying to turn things around. The Qs have put in a higher low, but we have not yet put in a higher high. Maybe Apple will be the thing that leads us to the promised land. Fucking Nvidia's getting rocked. Dude, it's just these buyers are fucking nowhere today. It's just sellers galore. Let's see if it changes. I don't know. World's third biggest company is pumping. World's biggest company is dumping. World's second biggest company is dumping. So when you have number one and number two dumping, and then number three, aka Apple, is the only one going up, no surprise that we're not really going anywhere. It's really, really tough for the tech sector to go up when the two biggest stocks in the world, which happen to be tech stocks, are selling like no other. And then it's the third biggest company, also a tech stock, that's the only one going up. Imagine how bad this would look right now if Apple were also selling off. Like, this would just be horrendous. Horrendous. Mag 7 flat. S&P 500, also maybe the delta reading putting in a higher low, not just price, but I'm seeing the SPY pop a little bit. Let's check out what the big guys are doing. Big guys are still slightly net buyers. And maybe I'm being biased because my own short-term, actually my medium and fucking no wonder I'm biased. My short, medium, and long-term positions are all currently bullish. So maybe I'm seeing things that aren't there, and maybe I'm looking for a bit of confirmation bias, which is obviously totally possible, especially when my short, medium, and long-terms are literally all bullishly biased. I wonder if we can take out 554.33. If we can actually confirm the start of a bullish structure, because this is clearly bearish, lower highs, lower lows. Right here at 1024, we might have put in our first higher low on the Qs. If we can take out 554.33, okay, that's good. That actually means we're switching structure. The SPY already switched structure. You can see that not only do we make a fresh high at 1018, but we put in a higher low at 1030. So we went from lower highs and lower lows to higher highs, higher lows. So this is currently in at least on the 3-minute chart. Obviously trend is hyper dependent on the time frame you're on, but on an intraday time frame, we went from bearish to bullish, while the Qs went from bearish to neutral to in between, and it seems as if it's the battle between the tech Goliaths. Apple's trying to go up, Nvidia is apparently trying to go down. So I don't think there's much special that I could say, except I did turn that off. All right, I am currently underwater by about 10 points. I'm long at 48, and it is trading at 42, 43. Oh, almost back to break even. Almost back to break even. Apple's going. Come on. Come on, you fucker. Come on. Come on. Let's just go for it, Tonto. Let's just go for it. All right. SPY's trying to. Mag 7, a slight uptick. NASDAQ, a slight. Dude, the NASDAQ's gotten nailed all day. Maybe it bottomed at 1026, but that's early to call out. Mag 7's catching a bit of a bid, at least hasn't made a fresh low. S&P 500, it is building back up. Obviously, I want to see it take out this delta high and price high from 1018. So higher low for sure, but let's see if there's enough follow through. The SPY's trying to get going, but it's tech that's holding it back. Nvidia not looking so good. Microsoft getting fucking hit. Jesus. Oh, brother. All right. Are there any questions on Tradeify, or are there any questions on Bookmap? Tradeify is another SIM-to-funded company, but it allows you to go straight to funded, as in you don't have to take the eval. I know these prices look large, but remember with that code Goonie, you could take 50% off your first one and then 35% off any of the following ones. So I know the price tag, there's that initial sticker shock, but then when you think of the percentage off and then you think about on other ones what it would cost for the eval and then for the upgrade, it's actually pretty comparable, and you also time-wise you're looking pretty good. SPY almost going for that fresh high. So SPY has confirmed a bullish uptrend now. SPY has confirmed a bullish uptrend, and we are waiting on that to happen on the Qs. Apple's going 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish on the S&P 500. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, all bearish on the NASDAQ, but waiting for this to take out the last 30-minute high right here. Potential bottom. Thoughts on Disney? Great question. I think Disney adults are some of the weirdest people in the world. I understand if you want to go to Epcot and get shit-faced with your friends and your family, your fiance, your wife, or whatever, but I'm talking the Disney adults that show up and buy the Mickey Mouse ears and put them on, and they're not there with their kids, whatever. If you're going to do the Mickey Mouse side of Disney, that it's weird to me if you're an adult. It really is legitimately weird to me. I'm not talking about Epcot. I'm not talking about ripping a couple brewskis with your buddies and going to the animal kingdom and checking out the elephants. Like, that's whatever. Everyone wants to see an elephant. Everyone wants to see a cheetah. Everyone wants to see a leopard. I don't care your age. So basically, my argument is if you're going there as an adult and your major concept isn't just to get shit-faced, I have questions. I have deep questions about that. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Disney. My other thoughts on Disney is they somehow fumbled the most successful movie franchise of all time. Literally they fucked up the most successful movie franchise known to man. Blows my mind how you could and it was such a gimme too. And now they just spin out these trash shows. What's that? The newest one on Disney, Iron something, Iron Woman, Iron something. And I tried to watch the first episode of it, and it was just so bad. It's just so much virtue signaling, bullshit, time and time again. Literally, you already have the recipe for stuff that works super well. You're Disney, and you're Disney for a reason. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they're trying to fix a thing that isn't broke, and then they refuse to admit that what they're doing is actually making it worse. Ironheart, dude, it's trash. I tried to watch it. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe finally, they've realized, maybe they have enough data to suggest what they've been doing is stupid. And nope, this is actually, in my opinion, one of the worst shows that they've actually ever made. And it's just the dialogue is horrible. I am by no means a writer. And honestly, I think if you gave me a day, I could have written a better story than that. I just don't get it. They had, it was the pitch of it was interesting. It was cool. And I liked it. And then all of a sudden you watch it and it's just the worst writing and subpar acting. I just don't get it. I don't. When you lose, Matt, it's bad. When I lose what? Wow, Matt finally called the show trash. I mean, it was trash. It is trash. All right, finally I caught something here, folks. I might have caught a fish. All right, let's see. VWAP is all the way back up. All right, I bet we're going to see a bunch of sell orders or sitting. Yeah, right here. You can see. Well, actually, they're coming in at 80. See how dark that is? A lot of people, passive sell orders, limit sell orders, target orders. I'm hoping there's enough aggressive buying to pump this up to 23,000 flat. That's what I'm looking for. Remember, the colored heat map is passive orders. Below, sitting buy orders. Above, sitting sell orders. The bubbles are the aggressors. If it's green, they're hitting the ask. That is an aggressive buyer. If it's red, they're hitting the bid. That's an aggressive seller. So what I'm looking for is a continuation of this aggressive buying, enough to take out this passive sell side liquidity at 23,000. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. I want it to happen. Oh, SPY, we're going there. Here we go, SPY. There we go, SPY. We're right at that high from yesterday. Dude, the tech sector is lagging so far behind today. Anyway, big open interest level at 6275. Don't be surprised if there's a bit of profit taking right here. We're literally at that high from yesterday. That's commonly a reaction level. But from there, 6275, and then from there, new all-time high at 6284. Apple's going. Microsoft stopped bleeding. Nvidia is just flat after bleeding. All right, we got, I guess, a double bottom today is the setup. I guess the old double bottom. The old double bottom. The old double rooski. All right, I'm setting up some alerts for myself just because obviously I was jumping the gun a little bit today. I was a little too excited. A little too excited. All right. I want to see the Qs fall through to 555. Mag 7 picking up a little bit, stalling out now, but obviously we started a little bit of an uptrend at 1034. The SPY on that push to the intraday high or new intraday high and the high from yesterday, there's also a follow through on the Delta high. And then speaking of the big players, big players are net buyers. Not the most buying we've seen, but they are net buyers. So that makes me feel a little bit more confident. In terms of my position, I'm waiting for this. I don't know. There's actually all these sellers keep coming in. There's a good chunk, not the most insane chunk, but there's a good chunk of people trying to get out at 980. On the S&P 500, it's 315. Look at that. So not only did we run up to the high from yesterday, but there's a lot of sitting sell orders right there. 315. So that's a big breakout level. We do have some buyers willing to step in at 611. We're starting to see a little bit of sitting buy orders. That actually might be people who sold off of this. I don't know. I could just tell you this is what we have. Oh, come on, break it, break it. So you want to basically take out that sell side liquidity. We just took out a little bit of it, but you're going to want to see those big green circles blow through it and then give us that opportunity. Looks like the big sell of the day is at 6,320, but that might be putting the cart before the horse because we haven't broken this one yet. But if you're playing ES, basically you have sellers at 15 and you have sellers at 20 with quite a few sellers at 20. Come on, we're knocking on the door. Can it break? Once again, this is for the ES contract. Come on. Come on. We're seeing some aggressive buyers. Keep buying. Keep buying. That liquidity has now disappeared. They hit it. They took it out. All right. If there is follow through, the next watch is about 5 points higher, which on the SPY is about 50 cents. On SPX, it is 5 points. But that's the next place where I see those sitting orders. On the bottom side, we have buy order. Oh, hang on. These sellers just came right back in. We're not getting as much follow through as I want. Hang on. Hang on. They took out that liquidity, but there literally just no follow through. See how we ran right up to it, took it out, and now we ran into some selling. How's everything else looking? Ugh, that could look better. Yeah, we have some profit taking right here. See how the calls, 0DT calls, profit taking. Right, yeah, to be expected, honestly. It's at the high from yesterday. That's a large reaction level. It's just like, why couldn't the Qs, do you know how much money I would be up right now if the Qs could have recovered even to 50% the SPY? The SPY is already pushing. It literally pushed its entire zone. It full tripped it. Well, the Qs have done dog shit, dude. Nvidia's getting sold again. Fuck. Oh, I would have been way better off to play this on ES. The exact same play, 300. Oh, so much better. Bullish, 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 bullish. Everything is looking great on the overall market. And then generally there's a high correlation with the Nasdaq, but not today. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Trying to recover, but obviously got smashed. The Nasdaq not even seemingly trying to recover. Not the nicest day to have that drop of correlation. Not the nicest day, I must admit. I must admit. Okay. How do I need to do some math because I have to treat these accounts differently. Your boy has to do some math. Technically, I can let the take profits ride up to 1,500. Technically. If you want to get real technical about it, which I don't even know why I'm doing this math because I'm obviously nowhere close. Right. plus 22948. All right, so the take profits, I have to treat all these differently. Actually, should I just treat them all the same? Would that make my life easier? TPT. Oh, 1,500. Would that actually make my life easier? 246. If I'm crunching my math right, 44 is the max I could go for. 821. I'm very, very tempted to move my stop up to break even. So at least I don't dig myself further in a hole. I am net ahead today. I'm a little bit worried of a smack somewhere between here, 394. Like I said, I don't want to dig myself deeper into a hole. I am finally net green, so actually it'd be nice to be able to put my stop to 75, so at least I don't lose money. All right. What if I were a good trader, what would I be doing? If I were a good trader, how would I handle this situation? SPY, fresh intraday high. The Qs are not getting that breakout quite yet. Apple took a little bit of a hit. Nvidia stopped bleeding. Microsoft stopped bleeding. Tesla's flat. Palantir stopped bleeding. Avago stopped bleeding. Coins actually popping a little. Meta popping a little. All right, so things appear to have stopped bleeding. We're not necessarily ripping it, but we're not bleeding. So sometimes you got to take what you can get. Okay, so we took out all of that buy side, sell side liquidity at 6,315 on ES. The next clear thing is 6,320. That's like, I mean, look at it. Huge amount of sellers. That's going to be a tough one to take out. So if you're trading ES, watch 6,320. Watch 6,320 if you're trading ES. And then with respect to NQ, as I promised, a huge amount of sell orders at 23,000. So on ES, it's whatever 20, and then here it's the flat. Yeah, a lot of people trying to get out of 23,000 flat. That's a lot of sell orders, which might roughly align with 6,320 on ES. So we're coming up to a lot of sell orders, and if we hit it, I'm definitely moving my stop to break even. I think that's like the smart thing to do, just in case there's a severe rejection. I don't want to lose money or more money after I've been trading like shit for not only today, but for a couple weeks. Come on, keep going. At least touch it. 70, 50. So VWAP is up here. So we're running up to a key psychological level, quite a bit of sell side liquidity, and VWAP all put together. That's going to be a bitch to break. Maybe I get lucky. Okay, big guys are stepping in a bit more. I know this doesn't seem special to you, but in the top right of your screen, big boys are stepping in. Come on. Come on. Keep us going. Mag 7 picking up. SPY picking up. SPY hit a fresh intraday high. The Qs almost took out a recent high. Apple. Nvidia. I would love if Nvidia could actually wake the fuck up. I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. Go further. Come on. Mag 7. Tesla. Rough start to the day, but we are getting a decent recovery. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bullish on the S&P 500. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, bearish, but we don't have that. If we get to that VWAP whatever level, we're back to testing on the 5-minute. And then I would say 23.26 right here, this shelf that we broke down below at 9:45, that will be an interesting test, 23.25. So test 1, 2300, test 2, 23.25. The Q's taken out that high. Let's just keep running this up. All right, I am nicely back in the green. All right. I can't risk going deeper in the hole. I moved my stop to break even. Just in case there's a severe rejection. I don't know how people are going to react to this. Like, I don't need a random ass tweet making me go deeper in the hole. So I'm trying to do the smart thing. Stop to break even. I could arguably give it a little bit more leeway if I were didn't have that second shitty trade of the day, but here we are. Here we are. I'm just worried about this little 10-point zone. I am worried about it. Yeah, look at all that. Look at all those chickens. Look at all those chickens. Where's our lo-fi? Let's get a little bit of lo-fi going in here. Add a little bit of serenity to this particular show. Yeah, see? Like, you just have sellers at 90, 95, and 3,000. Or at the 100 wrong. 990, 995, and the 1,000. This is going to be potentially a problem. Potentially. ES still has some room to go. We could S&P 500 6320 trading at 16. That's 4 points on ES, on SPX, and about 40 cents on SPY. If you're an active trader, day trader, scalp trader, you'd probably want to lock in your profits right before, just so if it gets smacked, you can always reload. And if it's a bad smack, whatever, you already got your profits. But just like to be assuming that like, no, it's going to break out for you, I would say that's actually kind of a very dangerous assumption. A very dangerous assumption. Dude, where the fuck are these buyers? All right, at least I'm looking somewhat decent. I am green on the day. But if this comes down much more, I don't know how much. The kitchen's heating up, folks. I don't know how much heat I could take. Kitchen is heating up. Man, it could have been actually an easy day. It could have. Hey, Matt, do you think the SPY is making a new all-time high? I don't know. What's... I just think... I get those questions all the time. I'm like, is it going to go today? It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. That's not what trading is. What does it matter? Anyone's opinion. Like, it's just random guessing. Random guessing. For us to make a new high, that is dependent on the market participants as a whole agreeing to buy and sell at a brand new high price. So you're basically asking me, do I think the mixture of retail institutions, hedge funds, high frequency traders, market makers, and everything else in between are going to be like, yep, today is the day that we just agree on that? That's like literally a borderline infinite amount of variables in that particular situation. Like it's just, retail traders are always trying to predict, and yet retail traders, 95% of them lose money. Good traders don't try to predict. They just react to the current setup. They don't just sit there and be like, here's like, I'm seeing this and now I think 4 days out, this is going to happen. It's just a low odds type of a thing. It's a really, really, really weak bet to try to engage in the market like that. And yeah, you see it, dude, it's just going to fucking knock me out. It is. This is about to come for me. Fuck. Oh, it's all my fault. If I waited for this one good play, I could have been in when I needed to be in, stop to break even, and I wouldn't be sweating at all. Instead, I'm like babying this position where I'm basically just praying that it doesn't pull back that much, but yet we're pulling back like 35 points. Oh, I hate when I have to rely on like miraculous turnarounds rather than like something actually reasonable. Oh, it's just so frustrating, especially because like when you know better. When you know better and you just don't do it. Next time you ask why is it selling, I'm going to type that buyers and sellers are agreeing lower price. Yeah, that's fine. That's why it is selling. It's going off. You can make some sort of reasonable conjecture of like why people are selling, but it's not like at the end of the day you get some like market report card. I'm like, yeah, your interpretation of some news is why other people decided to buy or sell aggressively. You don't know. Like, once again, it could be conjecture. Like all these times we see the market drop and then we check the news and the news is Trump saying something about tariffs. Like, that's a reasonable conjecture that due to the tariffs, the bots reacted and they decided to sell because tariffs aren't good. But once again, that assumption actually might be wrong. It's not like at the end of the day, we're told like, yeah, no. That's actually why the bots sold. For all we know, it could be like just some fat finger mistake at a hedge fund. And it just so happened to perfectly in time correlate with it. So like my point is you're not given the answer key to why. Like, you could come up with conjectures, but also even if you do, if your conjecture is right or wrong, my point is, does it matter? Like, does it matter whatsoever? Whether you could say, I could say the market dropped because high frequency traders reacted to some fancy schmancy natural language processing of tariffs related to Trump. Okay, cool. You might say, no, we actually dropped then because that's exactly when Mercury went into retrograde. Doesn't matter. If you're short, you made money. If you're long, you got blown out. My point is like, I think some people, especially in the retail sector, we end up getting almost like borderline obsessed with something that really doesn't matter. It does matter. No, it doesn't. Explain to me how it matters whatsoever. Like, well, you can't. Like, you're going to sit there and be fumbling around. You will never be able to explain why trying to explain the news matters, because on top of it, you're putting your own bias, like the whole bias of your entire life experience. You have no idea how the rest of the market is going to interpret the exact same news. You have no concept. You know how you're going to interpret it. You know, okay, you could come up with a theory if it's bullish or bearish, but how do you know if it's right? How many times have you seen a good earnings report and then yet the stock drops? Clearly, the market reacted into it a way different than your own interpretation. So this idea of why it's moving, like the news driving people to buy or sell, my point is that it only matters that people are aggressively buying or aggressively selling. You're never going to know if like your interpretation of the news creating people to triggering people to buy or sell, you'll never know if it's right or wrong. You're not going to ever get that answer. Ever. Thus, it doesn't matter. Historically, I'm supposed to make money. What? I'd rather move so many of these old heaters. It's soothing yet spicy. Shout out Rocky Mountain Billy. Bilbo Baggins. Because it's your money on the line. John, are you just fucking dumb? So you're saying because your money's on the line, you should thus then know why every single market participant at every single trade at any point in the day is buying or selling. It matters if you put your money in the market. Dude, you're not. Are you being intentionally dense? Like, why is it that everyone else in chat is understanding what I'm saying and you're just saying like actually retarded things? Well, no. It's your money on the line. So like, that's why you should know why the market's moving. I'm saying you'll never get the answer. John, what are you going to fucking do? Call everyone in the world on every single tick and be like, yo, why are you buying or selling right now? Tell me the exact. You would literally have to like know every single market participant and know why they make every single trade, every single decision in every single trade. Dude, this is day in and day out. I'm reminded why retail traders lose money. It's because we just have some of the dumbest fucking like ideas of what the market is. Because it's your money on the line. No fucking shit. No shit. This is, I swear, if our government, if the US government ever needed like empirical evidence that our education system is faltering in one way or another, I swear, you just need to send them the chat log. You have to do good research. John, I would bet any amount of money that as an active trader, you're losing money. You do not have the capability to research at the level that your competitors do. And when I say competitors, I'm thinking like literally the most advanced hedge funds ever known to man. And you think you're going to research at their level? What do you mean fucking pulling up a Google search and reading dumb shit on Twitter? That's your research? Yeah. Good luck with that. Good luck. Fucking so stupid. My research. I think Goldman Sachs is wrong. I think JP Morgan missed it. The chance of you finding a piece of research that every single hedge fund in existence hasn't already looked at, exhausted, and figured out 10 times more than you have is actually 0 to fucking none. 0 to none. I researched it. How would I know if someone, hedge funds manager wife, accidentally washed his lucky trading socks, John? Oh, Jesus. And now we're not fucking doing anything. Your money's on the line. Sadly, like that's a dumb fucking statement, obviously. But I don't even know if that one necessarily ranks in like the top 5 or the top 10 dumbest things. That's how like sad the state of retail trading has gotten. Like even like, especially if we include Reddit posts and things we've read on Twitter, if like generically we're counting all stream commentary, all Reddit posts read, and all tweets read on this show, all 3 of those forms of communication from retail traders, sadly, I don't even think that one ranks. It's just, and that's dumb. It just kind of tells you about the state of things. We're just waiting. SPY's continually up. Apple's flat. Nvidia's flat. Bro, why are you so mad? I don't think it's mad to just call someone stupid. I actually feel pretty good. I feel pretty calm right now. That's not a mad thing. Like just calling a retard's not, that doesn't make you mad. It means like you're just like actually interpreting reality. I researched Circle by putting money in, and then when it down 17%, then I bought more, and when it went green 10%, then I got out because I hated the ride. Research, baby. Hey, better research than what other people do. Better research than what other people do. Mag 7 popped, and like now it's like slowly grinding up. SPY is just continually grinding up. The NASDAQ. So just to clarify, Mag 7 obviously subset of the NASDAQ. Mag 7 popped, grinding up. NASDAQ as a whole sold and now just still going sideways. So Mag 7 It goes Nasdaq looks the shittiest, Mag 7's right on top of that, and then the S&P 500 is actually looking the best with respect to flow, options flow. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour on the ES is actually the strongest. And we have, from a technical standpoint, the only other thing left to take out is literally the all-time high. We cleared all of these wicks. I guess in the short term, you could watch 22, which is this like post-market wick, which I really don't care the most about. But today it does happen to align with over here. Right here, we're getting up to a potential rejection zone. A lot of sell-side liquidity at 6320. The wick from that post-market is at 6322. So I would be watching close to this of, are there enough buyers to take out this liquidity and just keep the party going? Unfortunately, as we're at that test, which I kind of always assume it's going to go against me, I find that it's a safer way to interpret the market. If it does get smacked at all, that means I'm going to get knocked out for break even, unfortunately. So I need a wee bit of a miracle to keep this going. A wee bit. Oh, and we're at a key open interest level. Fuck me, dude. The chance of this working out in my favor because of the massive divergence we're seeing between the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 today is slim to fuck all. This does not have the vibe of working out in my favor. We're at a major open interest level, a psychological level, a liquidity level, and I'm the asshole who's like, yeah, no, I think we might just break. Dude, what am I doing? The odds of this tagging me out. What am I doing? Not smart. Yep, right there. Fucking surprise, surprise. Bro. It's almost as if it was obvious. It's almost as if it were obvious. Oh, how lucky can I get? Now, we're just ripping with pure luck at this point. You need to do more research. I do. I do. How lucky can I get? I need to be so absurdly. Look how close that got. Oh, luck of the Irish. I just want to get the fuck out. This does not have the best vibes, team. Vibes are low. Spot Gamma and Heat Map, which is the better tool mid-trade? They tell you two completely different things. You're comparing apples to oranges. One tells you about the options. One tells you about like the real-time trading of the underlying of not the derivative. As I've said it multiple times in this stream, it's two different puzzle pieces. They're not comparable. Shit. Fuck me. Oh, how lucky. How lucky will I possibly have? Ran right into the open interest. Options chilled. Mag 7 actually getting hit now. Nasdaq getting hit now. Dude, the tech sector is being such a little bitch today. Such a little bitch today. Yeah, overall market is actually looking real good. On an intraday basis. Obviously, on the daily chart, the Qs hit a new all-time high yesterday. But today, we see this is... Man, what a trade that was there. going long at 1047, going long at 1059. These were all great. Push it up, came down, higher low, breakout, risk recent low, pushes, nope, pushes again, risk is the recent low. You get to ride it all the way up to the next level. Like, it's just, some of these plays are fucking layups, man. I'm about to get tagged. Yep, just got
Order
tagged.
canceled.
All right, so at least I didn't go further in the hole. I just got out at break even, so like it didn't cost me anything. Did not cost me anything, but had I gotten in when I was most likely supposed to get in, I would have another 25 points of leeway. And honestly, this push, at somewhere in this push, I probably would have made enough money that I could have been out anyway. But yeah, break even trade. I tried to play this reversal. I was a little bit early, kind of got lucky. I went long at 1003. 1009 was a better entry. 1028 was a way better entry. And now, knowing my luck, this will just like rip right out of here. Most likely rip right out of here. Damn. Apple's flat. Microsoft was trying to get going, a little bit smacked here. It's Nvidia. Nvidia's fucking everything up. Shit. We're having a lot of, I assume, profit taking on Nvidia after hitting an all-time high, fresh all-time high this morning. And like the profit taking just like will not stop. Profit taking will not stop. Frustrating. Well, maybe you're going to continue with this succession of higher lows. I mean, obviously the SPY is strong, but you're getting told two different stories. SPY is absurdly strong, and Nasdaq is actually kind of noteworthy in how weak it is this morning. So, Godspeed. All right, like I said, if you want, you could go straight to funded. If you want to do sim to funded and not have to do the eval, you could go straight to funded with Tradeify. That's the big advantage of Tradeify. Check out the rules. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Use that code GOONIE, GOONIE, to not pay this big sticker price right here. You'll get 50% off. So by the time you think of that, 50% off, and then the other ones where you do the upgrade and all that, pretty much actually comparable, and also saves you a bit of time because you're right to funded. So feel free to check that out. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. When you're checking out, use that code GOONIE and you'll get yourself a wee bit of a discount. Actually, more than a wee bit, a nice bit. So like I said, show them a bit of love if you are interested. All the other stuff's in the description of the video. I'm trying to think of anything else of importance today. We'll be posting a video a little bit later on, and then we'll be streaming tomorrow morning to wrap up the week. But I don't think there's like a major... The thing you might want to pay attention to today is the 30-year bond auction at 1 p.m. Once again, 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to get the results of the 30-year bond auction. So you might want to be paying attention to that. Could be important for many of us. Generally, it doesn't have that big of an impact unless it's a horrible auction. Then the market could definitely drop. So be careful with all of that. Remember, don't be stupid. Don't be a normal retail trader. If you're doing something that most retail traders are doing, that's not good. Most retail traders lose money. Stick to your plan. Stick with the trend. Respect your risk. Find a positive expected value, and don't do silly things that a lot of other retail traders want to do day in and day out, because remember, 95% of them burn their account. That's what I have for you right now. I'll catch you guys later on today, and then streaming again tomorrow morning. Best of luck. I hope you make a shitload of money. Peace.